What's going on, everyone? Ooh, I'm super loud. Holy crap. Almost blew my own eardrums out. Hopefully you guys can hear me. What's going on, everybody? Another great episode of Booze and Booze coming right up. I know the last couple of weeks we've been diving deeper with a lot of thoughts and everything going on, a little bit deeper into the paranormal realm. Looks like we lost our special guest, so hopefully she makes it back in. But until she does, I'm going to bring everybody else in. What's going on, Tori?
Hi.
Hi, Kenna.
Hi.
Steve Areno. And Matt, why did you look so depressed when you signed on?
Oh, me?
Yeah, you.
We can get into that.
Do you really want to?
No.
I'll let no ratchet ass hoe ruin my day.
Hey now.
Listen, Kenny, you've not been there to mentor me lately, so
I know. We gotta catch up. We have
we don't got to catch up. You need to fuck off.
Me?
No, she.
Oh, I thought you said me. I was like, hold up, wait a minute.
Kenny, you and I are always good. You know that. You're one of my favorites.
It's Wednesday, folks. Okay, aside from Matt, how's everybody else doing?
It's a long work week.
I just got off my work week.
Mine hasn't
Today
ended.
your Friday?
Yeah, well, last night was my Friday night. I just rolled out of bed about 3 o'clock.
Nice.
But I was up all night, so.
What are you drinking, Matt? What do you got?
Jack and Coke? SoCo.
It's been a day.
And you hear him smacking his lips.
So good. It is so good. By the end of this broadcast, I won't even know where I am anymore.
Perfect.
Hey, Cindy, Tim, Michelle, Aaron.
What's up, everybody?
I guess I could have just said that too. Hey,
We're gonna fix the mood, baby girl. Don't worry about it. It's all gravy.
Just don't give it any attention. The more you mention it, the more she wins.
You got a couple big.
Anna?
You got a couple big weeks coming up, so you got big things coming.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a drop in the hat when you roll like I do. It's just another day in life.
It's just another day.
Just another day as a paranormal superstar. Superstars, dude. I'm
Lots of
just happy to be
people.
here with 4 of my families and my friends, and I'm going to get drunk with you guys tonight.
Well,
You're gonna
I'm okay with that.
for real.
I
I got
support it.
4 unopened ones here right now. I'm ready to go.
There you go. Let's put the booze in
What
this
is
podcast
that, Mike?
tonight.
Great Lakes. The
Oh.
greatest northeastern.
Got a little Sarah tonight.
What is that?
Little
Sarah.
Hmm.
Seems like Sarah's having some issues with her computer.
Yeah,
Oh,
we'll
wait,
give
is
her.
that what's going on?
Hmm?
That's what's going on? She's having a computer problem?
Yeah, it's just a little echoey for her, so she's gonna reset real quick, and then we'll get started with our.
Yes,
You
Tim.
need some
10 days.
I
10
have.
days.
I
Tim,
have.
you didn't hear COVID canceled the event?
Damn, I guess Ratchet can't fly her paper wings over. that post crack. That's what happens when you order off Wish.
So the Paranormal Relief Project, I have one more venue to announce. The rest of them, I'm still waiting on final confirmation. But the last one is the Berlin Tannery.
Nice.
Very cool. Where's that?
Still need to make my way out.
That is in, I want to say,
Wisconsin, ain't it?
yes, that's what it is.
Wisconsin.
I was going to say Michigan, but I can't keep track of all these places. It's hard to keep track of like where everything is at, but yeah, it's in Wisconsin.
Nick, these are the greatest beers.
Jesus, Katie, you're going to really tie one off, huh? Welcome to the show.
Drunk time. See, she's getting ready. Everybody's getting ready to get drinking.
Oh man, it's hump day.
This podcast is a poor influence on the well-being of many a liver. But
I think it's a great influence.
oh, I generally wouldn't drink during the middle of the week, but I think it's an excellent thing to look forward to.
It's a good reason to.
It really is. It really is.
Thursdays at work, everybody knows it's my hangover day, so they leave me alone.
Hannah's got a fishbowl over there. What's she drinking?
My fishbowl, it's so cute.
she
I'm
back in
just
the
drinking
closet?
mocha tonight.
I'm drinking coffee as per usual.
Wrapping the coffee drinkers.
Ain't nothing wrong
My
with
nose
coffee.
is kind of stuffy, so if I sound weird, I'm sorry.
I got the allergies going lately too. It's
I
pretty
think
rough.
that's what it is.
Between the allergies and the horrible movies that Aaron's been making me watch, it's just a whole big mess.
The notebook
just-
really hit you.
I just saw
God, I
that
don't
they're
know why
going to
anyone would
do.
watch that movie voluntarily and put themselves through that.
I
I don't
just saw that they're going to reboot Dexter.
Yes,
Oh,
I shared that earlier.
So
Nobody
sad.
Yeah.
asked for that. 2020
10,
got worse.
10 episode release.
It's him. That's all that matters. He's on it.
Yep.
So is it going to be like just they're redoing it or starting
No,
where it
they're
left off?
picking back up where it left off. I guess a limited series with 10 episodes.
Until it does,
Yeah,
though,
but
then
the
it'll come
way
back
that
again.
it ended, it just didn't.
Oh, it did. It had a terrible ending.
The brawny
Yeah,
paper
it didn't
towel
work.
man working at a wood lumber yard or some shit was terrible.
Yeah, he's a lumberjack or whatever. Yep.
It's been so long since I watched it. I don't remember, so I'm going to have to go back and rewatch
Yep.
He
it.
doesn't
They
work
said it
for
should come out at the end of
law
next
enforcement
year.
anymore? Didn't he work for law enforcement?
He was, but at the end he worked. He like, well, if you haven't seen it, I can't ruin it. But at the end, he's like,
No, there's been plenty of window of opportunity for him to see it at this point. It
Yeah,
ended like
right.
8 years ago.
Yeah, I watched.
yeah,
like,
he
the first two
was a
seasons.
crime scene blood splatter guy, but then he ended up being
Crime
like a
scene
lumberjack.
analyst.
Yeah, he went to hiding and was a lumberjack basically.
Wasn't
So-
his sister that I stopped when I think
Sister
his
got taken out,
on
too.
his trail.
Yeah, his sister got wiped out.
Spoiler alert.
If you haven't watched it yet,
Like you said, I could have watched it 8 years ago, and 8 years later, I still don't care.
It was a pretty good series.
oh, it's so
We had
good.
a couple of shit seasons, but it was
Yeah.
pretty good overall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Nick,
Had
my
more good
bourbon's
than that.
downstairs.
That's-
I can't drink scotch on a Wednesday. I got scotch.
Wimp.
I got Johnny Walker.
I don't like any of that stuff.
Listen,
just like
I
beer.
work on cars.
Steve,
all
we would have
day.
assumed that based on your White Claw consumption.
Listen. I like craft beer and the occasional claw.
The claw.
I misread Tim's comment. He said, I'm the DD for everyone. And I thought he said, I have the double Ds for everyone.
Oh.
I don't know where that
Yeah, I
even
see
came
DD, I
from.
think Dunkin' Donuts, and I get excited.
Yep, I also
I was
thought
thinking
about
movies.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. What else? What's everybody else working on? I know Matt's, putting together his little shindig here for next weekend.
Yeah, I'll be there
Dang,
all
that went
weekend.
down smooth,
Uh-oh.
man.
Uh-oh.
Signing off.
No, just refill it. See, we'll encourage you like we encouraged Aaron
Yeah.
the other night.
Aaron's.
Did you get
she's got a date with the captain right now. She's going to be a mess later.
did you get her old Ouija board yet?
I do have her Ouija board for her. It's actually right here.
Yeah. Which one? Which one did you get her?
Oh, I got her a shitty new one. Are you kidding me?
You know what I think would be fun to do on this podcast? This just
What you
came
got?
to me. I was looking through eBay the other day, and they had like these boxes of like it's a mystery box of haunted
Mhm.
things. If we all you can get one for like $15. If we all
Yeah.
pitched in, somebody could open it on air.
Or we can all just buy one.
We all get one. We all open it.
Yeah, but if I get something haunted, I'm gonna have to ship it to you guys because
That's
I don't
fine.
want it here.
That's fine.
No, I didn't even tell you this story the other day.
I already have a few haunted things coming to me here soon.
So I came home, what was it, 2 days ago? And no, it was Sunday. Yeah, Sunday, I think. I came home from like an event or something, tours at the homestead. And I come inside, and then my wife comes inside like a half hour later. She's like, why is there a Ouija board on our porch? And I was like, what do you mean? She's like, there's a Ouija board box on our porch. So I went out, and somebody had randomly just left me a box and a board, no idea who it was.
Of course
Picked it up, shook the box looking for a note. $100 bill fell out.
They paid you to keep it.
We ended up finding out who it was. Like it was
Was it
like
somebody
one-
you knew?
Very loosely. It
Well,
was
I
like
think
one
you
of her
wouldn't know it.
mom's. It was like one of her mom's like friends
Hmm.
had like seen it and just picked it up and dropped it off on our porch. And like the $100 was for my wife or something. But it was just like super weird. I
That
came
is
home. She's
weird.
like, "Why is there a Ouija board on our porch that is not in a box? Like it wasn't shipped here." And I was
John Ward is going to have an absolute aneurysm when he hears that story.
Well, did
I
you see?
find
He
it-
got a beautiful set today.
Yeah.
he got a beauty set today.
At least
Wasn't
it was
it?
somebody you knew, because I find it really creepy when just people go
That's
to
happened
somebody's
too, though.
house. That's
I got
like-
another package delivered to my house that was a Ouija board that I didn't know the person and I didn't know how they.
yeah. I
That's how
feel like
every
that's
horror
very
movie starts.
creepy.
That box
Right.
over there's got haunted shit in it. I don't even know what's in it yet. I haven't opened it.
I just
Open
find
it.
it really weird and almost like a violation of space when somebody comes up to your house that you don't
They
know.
can violate my space anytime they want if they're bringing me a Ouija board.
Ooh,
What if they
Stevie.
don't? What if they
Matt
just come
doesn't
up to your
bring-
door and want
Matt
to have a
doesn't even bring me
conversation?
Ouija boards, and he always violates my space.
Hopefully,
How much?
hopefully
What
our guest
ABV
comes
is that
back.
beer you're drinking, Steve? Jesus.
He has an object, but it's not haunted.
Yeah, it's only 5%. And I'm only like a quarter of the way in. I'm
Hey,
just.
Kenna,
Did you just get that, Matt?
is there any way you can get a hold of the guest and see if she's all
Yeah, I
right?
just wrote her.
Okay, thank you.
What are you getting sick of us, Mike?
A little bit.
Do you have limes in that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you put the lime in the Coke, you nut.
Oh yeah. I'm like that one person that didn't have the bad experience with SoCo in high school, so I still love it.
Mad
never
Dog
did either.
2020.
Oh man,
That
I
was
love
the
Southern
experience.
Comfort, man.
So I saw Mike's message. What's that? What time's everybody getting to the castle next weekend? What's the plan with that?
Well,
I'm
I
shooting
need
for around
to,
1 p.m.
Friday or Saturday?
I
Saturday.
need to send another message to that.
Okay.
Unfortunately, Friday's a no-go. She did book an investigation overnight.
Gotcha. I didn't do it. It wasn't me.
No. She forgot. She told me, and so kind of sucks, but
Yeah.
I'm still excited to see everybody Saturday.
So you're like Friday, 1 in the afternoon. You said you'll be getting out there.
Saturday.
Saturday. That's what I meant. Yeah.
Yeah, that likely. Jason, so the photo tours for the 1 p.m. haven't sold yet. So if they don't sell, I'm not going to get up there that early.
Right.
What
Makes
time?
sense.
Excuse me?
What time?
The 1 to 3 p.m. photo tours haven't sold yet, but the 3 to 5 is almost sold out. So
It'll come up 1 to 3.
Are you going to that, Kenna?
Have some
Mhm.
drinks.
You are.
I got a man up at the airport.
We can do our own.
Wait, what
investigation
airport you
during
flying
the day.
into?
Logan.
Boston.
Okay, you're flying into
Bean.
Boston.
Boston.
I'm so mad. I am so mad.
Eric Knapp is in the room. What's
You're
up,
mad
buddy?
that I'm flying into Boston? Yeah, hi.
Well, we had plans, my wife and I, to go to Boston the day before. I was going to meet up with Matt, have lunch,
You
and
just
get a
hung out
beer.
with us.
Well, unfortunately, we were going to get a hotel, but their COVID restrictions are very, very high right now. And yeah, we took a preliminary test where it said that we weren't required to get a COVID testing, but if we still wanted one, it was about a total of $300 for both of us to get it.
Wow.
And I was like,
You-
yeah, no.
I thought that the states were paying for that. Like they were free tests.
If you need it. If you have symptoms and you need it, then it's a free test. But if
Oh.
you just want to go find out if you have it, it's like $140 for 2 days results
The rapid
from like
test.
CVS or some shit. But we
Yeah,
were
let's
going to
say-
go into Boston.
I thought your girl was coming out, Matt. She's not coming out.
Dude, no, their shitty Prime Minister Boris Johnson won't allow anything to happen anymore. Except you can go to the pub and get wasted, but you can't fly or leave the country.
Can't travel.
Oh man. We have rapid tests here now that are like 15-minute tests. You can have results in like 15 minutes to 45 minutes.
Do you feel they're accurate though?
No.
Exactly. So when I get back from Detroit, I get my test. I never got my results.
But really, any COVID test, any swabbing, your results are only as accurate as the swabber. So if they don't swab you right, you can get a false negative.
I
Which
feel
they
like we should all
had.
get it at this point anyways. Get COVID and move on with life.
Well, we had an employee that had a rapid test done that tested positive for COVID, and then he had a titer test done, which is a blood test to see if you had the antibodies, and it was negative. So he never had COVID.
I've seen several cases, two of the exact same case where people were in line to get COVID tested and then
Yep.
signed up, decided
And
they
left.
didn't want the test and left. And
And got a
both
positive result.
yes, they were both
Mhm.
positive. And then
Yeah.
you had the president, is it the president of Tanzania? I don't know what their leadership is called. I think the president of Tanzania
I don't even know what that is.
that tested the papaya and the goat, and they both tested positive for COVID.
Perfect.
That's when he came out and said, "I'm not using y'all's stupid test. This is faulty. We tested a fruit. It wasn't even a papaya. It was some sort of exotic fruit, but yeah, the fruit tested positive."
Hey.
Aaron said
Oh,
that they're having a huge second wave.
they're getting slapped around over there.
Yeah, I'm trying to get her over here for Thanksgiving as my dessert, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen.
Hey, listen,
Yeah.
I will be your backup.
I had an intuitive.
Steve, you're already my cornucopia, buddy.
I had an intuitive tell me I was gonna live to be 80, so I ain't scared.
He's like, I got nothing to
I
worry
ain't got
about.
nothing to worry about. Fuck this COVID.
I do know, like the people that have tested positive for COVID,
Whatever.
the people that have tested positive and they have like pneumonia, their pneumonia looks different on an X-ray. It's like when people have TB, they have like these round spots in their lungs. It's very characteristic of tuberculosis. So when they have that, I guess it's the same thing. It's very.
Kenna, can you message her and see if she has headphones? That
She
could be
does.
why she's getting echo.
She has headphones.
I can
She's
tell.
she's private chatting.
She's not.
Yeah, she said eat.
She's not backstage anymore.
Oh.
She doesn't want to talk to us anymore.
I can see.
I'm really excited about this because when I went to the Kansas City Paracon, what was it, 2019? She was a speaker there. She's super interesting. Super interesting. I'm really looking forward to it.
She's beyond fascinating. Very, very smart. I feel very stupid having conversations with her because I'm like,
you feel like
wipe the drool from my face. Like I took a poop today. Like you have nothing in comparison to her.
Very intelligent.
Our very
well
basic
spoken.
caveman.
That's me.
She's very laid back.
Yeah. And Aaron, you'd be the whole meal plus the appetizer and dessert.
Wait, then where's the cornucopia fit in?
You're the all-encompassing, Steve.
Oh, okay.
Jesus.
Just add whipped cream.
Yeah.
Now I need whipped cream. Dry.
Are you sure about that, Matt?
No. Did you
No.
just call Tori dry?
Oh, I'm a little worried about next weekend now.
Let's see.
Dry sounds rough, but whatever.
There's cream for that.
So we got Sarah backstage. She said we're still a little glitchy. We can go ahead and give it a try if y'all want to give it a try.
It's probably just all different.
This is not going anywhere good. So
yeah, this is just
Yeah, we need to advance our conversation.
Well, Steve's going to hit me up on Grindr in about 5 minutes if we don't move it along.
That's the only message I answer.
He's gonna dress like a pilgrim from like the shoulders up. Just have like the collar and the hat and like
just feathers on his thighs.
He answers the messages so fast that it doesn't even have a lag time. It's just like.
All right, Kenna, you gonna introduce her since she's your guest?
Yeah, she is my good friend. She's my mentor. She's got a master's in forensic psychology. She's the founder of the Gypsy Tribe. I say that with excitement because she has some really cool jobs she's done, like murder interrogations and fun stuff like that we're going to get to talk to tonight. So without further ado, author of 2 paranormal books, my friend, Sarah Soderlund.
Bring her on in, Mike.
Yeah, you had to click.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
There she is.
Find the mouse.
I hope that you can hear me and see me and that I'm not as glitchy as you are, because I feel like I'm like listening to aliens. It's like a robot. And so I've tried to do the right thing, the responsible thing, not get angry, refresh my computer. And then my computer was like,
she's on the wrong.
I don't think I'm going to turn back on. And I was like, what's happening? So that just happened.
Not glitchy or
And I'm now
anything
calm.
for me.
Great. Good. You guys sound glitchy, so I'll just look like I'm responding strangely, but then maybe I'll sound good. So good.
You sound
It
great.
could be the drinks.
What are we drinking?
Okay.
What are we drinking? First question.
Well, there's a reality and then there's an untruth. And the reality is a mocha frappuccino, but the untruth is I like to believe that it's a White Russian like the Big Lebowski. But I don't drink, so we'll pretend.
Dude abides.
Thank you. The dude abides. El Duderino. You know, you're under the whole brevity thing.
He's right up above me.
Huh?
Oh, I thought
Is
you
he?
were pointing
Yes.
at Tori.
Lebowski.
That's Big Lebowski.
I was going to say, well.
He's I had a bulldog in college that was named Dude, and he was my buddy. And his name was Lebowski, but we called him Dude. And he was like the best. And it was always, I always knew a Lebowski person when they would be like, "What's your dog's name?" And I'd be like, "It's Dude." And they'd be like, and yeah, it's kind of cool. So, points for you, Matt, for having the poster there.
All right. We have to start at the very beginning.
Just a little ego. I don't need to feed your ego, though, so I
Little.
will not feed your ego.
Matt and
Well, you guys
Ego.
know that I troll the show often, so I'm really honored to be on the show. Like, I'm just excited to be here. I wish that I could be chatting on Facebook, but Facebook locked me out because I was trying to log in, and then I had to go get my phone for a 6-digit activation, and my phone's downstairs, and I'm lazy. So won't be doing that. I'm going to keep focused. Mercury retrograde. Thank
I was
you.
gonna say yes. We have
I don't know how
Mercury
it's affecting
retrograde.
you guys. If you
can
guys
ride on in.
subscribe to that.
Yes, you can expect lots of
It's
technical
real.
difficulties.
It's real.
So, you have a very interesting background, and I'm excited for you to share it. So let's start.
Hey, Steve, what's up?
Where do we start? How do we start? Where do you want to start? Take it.
I don't even know. I don't even
a
know.
long story short, yeah.
Tell them how much fun you had with myself and kind of Kenna back in June.
Not kind of Ken, y'all.
Right. Well, I mean, yeah, that's why I was introduced to the Booze and Booze show, right? Was, of course, our most recent investigation at Old South Pittsburgh, and then getting to do an exploration of the Oakland Cemetery and downtown Atlanta, which was scary for multiple reasons, not just paranormal. It's kind of just a cool, spooky, and then just being in the Atlanta craziness right now. It was fun. It was a good experience. And Matt is a different, I mean, everybody investigates differently, but I mean, as far as like long story short, I grew up in a haunted house with a crazy mom who was a psychic. My sister is a psychic, and my grandmother was a psychic. I didn't really buy into that whole thing. I was more skeptical, like my dad. He was Baptist, Southern Baptist. I went to church more than hanging out with my mom and my sister who were doing stuff under the moon. It obviously rubbed off on me because I'm crazy and do stuff under the moon now. But for about 15 years, I was really strict Christian and went to, church more than a normal person should, like the shaking snakes kind of church stuff. And when I wanted to go to a different church, my friends that were Catholic, and I was like, I was hearing and experiencing things in our haunted home, and like things to me were normal because I didn't know any different. But I would want to like see what the Catholic Church said. And I suggested going to my friend's Catholic church. My church suggested that I be exorcised. I kind of had a religious experience of like where my loyalties lie, and kind of went off on my own and wanted to have something more stable. So I applied to more scientific things, went into law enforcement, went into military, married military veteran. I, really wanted to be smart. My whole life, my mom always said, sweetie, just smile. You're a girl. You're a pretty girl. No one's going to care what's up there. Just smile. And that bothered me. So I really took a point to value intelligence. And I know that my looks will fade or that they could change at any moment. And I want to have something of value that is lasting. And so I kind of went that route. But I don't know, it didn't end where I wanted. It's not like life is how you plan it. I didn't end up becoming a big doctorate in forensic psychology. Now I own my own photography studio. I didn't plan to write books. I write books. I do voice acting. I didn't plan to do that, but it's just from doing podcasts and people going, wow, have you thought of being a sex phone operator? And just kind of, when you have children.
I got the beer.
Right, well,
they
make some money, let me tell you. But it's being able to smear and right. Hey, don't I know you? Yeah, that's Thursday, John. That's Thursday. I feel like my upbringing was brash, and the trauma helped me be empathetic, and my experiences helped me do really well in law enforcement. And as synchronicity would have it, my family was living in downtown Minneapolis, and I'm working law enforcement and forensic case management in the middle of a lot of riots and craziness. So we moved 200 miles north, 140, 50 miles north to kind of a safer space. But that means that I'm not working with crazy people. I'm not working in the thick of it. I'm not like, my ego is not like, me and my gun walking around anymore with my badge. And I don't like that. That's a struggle. But so now I get to do more stuff in the paranormal. I get to do more counseling. I get to do more podcasts. I get to do more speaking and events, even though COVID is here. Blech. So yeah, it's kind of gone off on a weird kilter because of life, but it all does apply to the paranormal because I work with crazy people, and I think all of us in the paranormal are a little crazy. So it's applicable, right?
I think you have
So-
to be crazy to be in the paranormal.
So I do want to ask a question. It's something I've wanted to dive into and something I've been highly interested in. Now, you get into like forensics and paranormal investigating, so that means you dive into a lot of serial killers. I've always kind of semi-believed when a serial killer or somebody says that they have been possessed and a possession made them do this, but they're doing life in prison and nobody believes them. Have you ever considered or actually dealt with a case where that was actually true?
So I like this space. I like this space a lot. I'm going to tell you one of my biggest life regrets lives in this space. Because I was going to the University of Chicago, and the philosophy and religion studies department was going to the Vatican. So for $3,000, you could go to the Vatican, and they were going to be looking at mental health cases at the Vatican. OMG. I'm not in that department. Who do I need to talk to right now? It didn't end up working out, but I ended up like attaching myself to a student who went and being like, can I pay you to live stream questions to people for me, please? And so hooking up with people that work really closely with religious organizations, because they try and use the scientific method as much as they can for exorcisms. What needs to happen? What needs to be present? How do we treat this? By way of which do we go now? It's really the only place that has rules and guidelines for that sort of thing. So that's kind of where you start. But in mental health, we don't do such things. Assessment for competency and insanity is very subjective. And I think possession is, I will say, a personification of energy that you let inside of you. So when I think of energy, because I know that you, Mike, are a fan of quantum mechanics, when I think of energy into its smallest, simplest form, I think of yin or yang, like the black and white. And that the yang is all of the outside stuff, air and fire, things that we're doing to interact. And yin is the inside stuff, the earth and water. And earth and water is kind of demonic. That's where depression and anxiety lives. That's where intention and thoughts live. That's before you ever speak about something. Oh, I never thought he was going to be a killer. All these thoughts were happening. How do you detect that before it's kind of birthed into the world? And I think that we personify it. We feel a certain way. We think a certain way. We start rumifying over certain things. Serial killers that, whether it's filicide and they're killing their children, or pornographic and it's sexual obsession, or whatever. There's kind of these frequencies that we go down. And then, religions, they give it a name. They say, oh, pride, greed, envy, Beelzebub. They give it a name. I think that at some point it is nice to give it a name when you're talking about something, when you don't want to have the guilt of carrying it yourself or to feel about it, but you do want to talk about it. So I think religions kind of talk about possession in it that way, and we allow possession with permission of what energies we let in, and then at what point it permeates our functionability, and that's mental health. And so possession and mental health kind of go closely hand in hand, whether or not you think it was trauma. I've gone crazy because of trauma, or I've gone crazy because a demon got me at, Melbourne Manor. We can't say for certain which one happened, but we have similar symptoms.
Yes.
Neither of which we treat, neither of which have definitive answers. But it's fun how similar they are.
Oh, absolutely. That's always a
and
subject
I think it
wanted
is
to dive
real.
into.
And I think it is real. And I think, like, have I ever seen a possession? Yes. Have I ever experienced an exorcism? Wasn't allowed to be present during, but I went in before and after for therapy for the family. And it was life-changing, I would say, for me. Specifically, going in before to just look at the girl, and she was a tiny thing, maybe 80 pounds, very frail. And she needed her dressings changed. Her mom and her brother and her dad and a few other people were lifting her. And I thought, why in the heck is it taking 4 people to lift, a 19-year-old girl that looks like she's had anorexia? And they were all struggling to lift her because they said, gosh, she weighs so much. She weighs like stone. And I was like, what? These people are full of crap. I don't know if we can say shit. Crap.
You can say everything.
You can.
Okay. I was like, these people are full of shit. These people are full of shit. And that's what I thought. That's what I was thinking. But then I kind of watched because I was like, is this an act? Where are the strings? Where's the shadows here? Like, gotcha moment. And I could see her sweating like she was hot, but when you touched her, she was cold. And then when they changed her dressings, stuff didn't look right, like gravity. Things weren't moving the way that they do normally. And then when they laid her down and kind of tucked her like a burrito, her mom did the burrito thing like moms do, tucking you like a burrito. And they stepped out, and I kind of leaned in and I explained why I was there and that I'd be coming in a few moments after the priest entered. And I saw something move under the covers. And there's nothing under the covers. She's tucked in very tightly. And I just kind of did one of those moments.
I'm out.
Right, where I was like, oh, okay. So I'm going to walk out of the door now. And it really scared me. It really scared me. And, I'm always teetering on like, how much do we really subscribe to the belief of everything in the paranormal? And we have to be skeptical. So it's a teeter-totter. And that my intuition, it gave me really weird feelings. My husband, the skeptic, would say it gave me goosebumps on my neck. That's a spirit. So that's proof. And it did. But also, a few years later, the man who performed the exorcism passed away, got very sick. Like, there's just things that happen in the paranormal that you both want to have it validated, but you also don't want to be a part of it.
Absolutely.
So we kind of have to pick and choose. It's a double-edged sword.
Do you think somebody has to be not necessarily religious, but like involved in religion in order to see or experience an exorcism or something demonic like that? Because they obviously it's portrayed as very, very common on the TV shows and the movies and all that stuff. And I know a lot of us have been doing this for a while. I've been doing it for like 11 years now. And I can say I've never come across anything even remotely that I would consider demonic. And I'm not religious at all. So is that just my perspective on things? Or do you think I'm not open to it because I'm not religious, so I won't run into it?
I think it's a little of both and a little of a few other things as well. I think that when you are not projecting or suggestive to like seeing a demon, someone's like, I'm at Bobby Mackey's and there's a demon down here. And you're like, nah, I don't really buy that shit.
Right.
I'll see what I think it is.
We're
it's
not allowed to talk about Zach Bagans on this show. I'm sorry.
Oh, Schmaggins? That's who? That's what we say. Schmaggins? I have so many fun stories I'm not allowed to tell. Oh, the day I die. I'm going to be the best spirit gossiper ever. But until then, all lips are sealed. I think that being objective, being in that state of mind when you're rational, being hyper aware to the point that it's focused, I think it kind of gets you into a state that you're going to be getting certain information. You're going to be getting the objective information. Whereas when you sit back and kind of go into that hypnagogic state, that meditative state, that not quite a, peripheral, ooh, I see your aura, I think maybe, I don't know, this kind of state, that you're open to suggestion also. Maybe it could be, maybe it isn't, I don't know, to be in that middle ground of both and be open, but also be objective, and then have an environment that is conducive to that is I mean, usually on paranormal investigations, I hate to admit it, but like especially on group investigations, man, that's not conducive to any kind of objective, measurable anything. So I'm just there for a good time. People will be like, why isn't Sarah like doing shit? And it's like, because there's 17 people here. It could be a fart. It could be a belch. I don't know. I don't know you. I don't know you. And no offense, but I'm just not going to use that information.
Don't investigate with Mike then.
Right.
Right.
I have all of the above.
I have farted in my
Ectoplasm,
own
ecto, yeah. Yeah.
So much
And so-
ambient noise with Mike.
ear. Live listen farts suck.
The full spectrum. Yeah. And I just I think that it's hard to get the perfect environment. When I think back on all the times, there's not very many. The times that something has like manifested into a, you know, not like a Slimer, but like something you could see, you know, something that you were like, holy crap, whoa, like that, those kind of moments, they're very rare. And they're usually, ironically, consciously, not when anyone else is around. And it's right before you set up your equipment or right after you took it down. It's usually my experience, which I love.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And it's usually meant to be an experience that I have to sit back and I kind of go to quantum mechanics and I think about the importance of the observer, that without my existence of this didn't even happen, that I am 50% of an apparition at any point in time. And at that point, I think, okay, how do I use this? Because it's not really maybe meant to be seen or meant to be shared or meant to be observed by anyone else. And that's hard for my ego, but it's also hard because then people think you're full of crap if you share it. You know, you can't be validated. But it's weird how spiritual consciousness, it seems to work in a space that validation doesn't come from others and from recorded experiences. It comes from a usual firsthand, unplanned, life-changing experience. And because it's that
happened to me at Pennhurst. So when I was at Pennhurst, I was at Pennhurst with Jason Baker, my homeboy. We got full access to do a photo tour of the day, and we're walking around. And you guys all know I cannot stand not being on camera. So I do a live session.
Right.
What'd you say? So I'm trying to fire up live. I'm in the tunnel, and Jason and our tour guide are like 100 feet in front of us. I'm trying to pull up live. And as I'm looking at my phone, I'll be damned if an orb the size of a baseball doesn't go right in front of me. And I was like, you son of a bitch. Like, personal experience only, did not want to be on camera. It happens to me all the time.
There's been a few things, even when my team films our documentaries, a lot of things that happen are off camera. And the last two were very spiritual to myself.
Mm-hmm.
And it was you were there for one of them, Matt, that second one with the bird that was flying around the veranda at Wilson Castle. And that one was highly spiritual and very intense. And I don't know, it's just,
I think they're smart. You know what I mean? I think, especially at a lot of the places that investigators are in all the time, like a Waverly Hills or a Pennhurst, like they know what's going on at this point. They know why we're there. They know the cameras are there. And if for some reason they don't want to be on camera, that's why they wait till right after or right before, or they're right behind the camera. I really think spirits are a lot smarter than we give them credit for, and they know more than we know.
I think it's just that little different parallel universe where they're just existing in their own plane, we're on our plane, and every once in a while we cross, and it's like that holy shit moment.
Well, and I like to also think of how exciting it is, like even as humans, the metamorphosis from like a young person to an old person and how our priorities shift, even like before children and after children, or before a surgery, after a surgery. If you have like a major change in your physical space, how that changes you. And I can only imagine death, right? And sometimes when I do medium work or psychic work, that communication, it seems to be that there's so much lifted from the material realm you just don't care about anymore. You really just, like, I hope you forgive me for putting that wrong cologne on you at your funeral. And they're like, come on, I don't care, and they definitely aren't coming back for people that paid ticket prices and are summoning them because they want to have an experience. It's kind of like, I got better things to do. And kind of that ascension, I think of the movie 13 Ghosts and putting on the glasses. If like suddenly you put on these glasses, you get to shed your physical body and you see all this additional information, the full electromagnetic spectrum at your disposal. Are you going to go back and haunt your ex-boyfriend and move his shoes around just to be a dick? Probably not. And if they're out there and time is relevant to humans and our physical manifestation.
I'm going to hold those.
Right? I'm going to go back and I've got a few things I'm doing.
Unfortunately, the only ex I would do that to passed away.
Well, that's where okay, you see the TV shows, Ghost Adventures, just to name them, where like everything is demonic or negative. Like if it's this all-powerful demon that can possess people and cause all these crazy things, why are they going to turn a flashlight on for you? You know what I mean? Like, are they going to waste their time turning on a flashlight or opening a door if they're this all-powerful demon that can possess people and kill people and do all this crazy stuff? Are they really going to waste their time doing what you ask them to do with a flashlight or a door or a K2 meter?
Likely not.
Right.
Right. Well, and we have to ask too, I think, like in the witch community. Ooh, I know all of you guys are witches. What are your intentions?
I'm a
warlock. I know. And a wizard, magician, we got a healer, shaman.
Zoltan.
I see you. I think it's like I know that some people would think I'm maybe crass or mean. I don't know if people think I'm mean. I don't think so, but maybe because I'm blunt. That like, what is your intention? Like with Ghost Adventures, what is your intention? I mean, if you appreciate psychology and marketing, you can appreciate if everything is a demon, that's something that haunts you, that which lingers. Something that you remember is what you want in marketing. You want someone to shut the show off and go, oh God, I think that every time I hear a bump in the night, it's something trying to steal my soul too. And you get so scared that, you just can't stop thinking about it. And those big pecs, or I don't know what people get stuck on, but apparently it lingers.
I'm right here.
They can steal my soul all they want, but they touch my feet, I'm going to be pissed.
Hey, they're throwing bricks. They're coming for you. You need to know, and you need to watch the next week's episode.
Shut up, Steve. That's our secret.
What do you think of this question? There are statistics showing the number of religious practicing has gone down, but the requests for exorcisms have slightly increased.
Significantly. I would say I agree.
Could there be a reason why, or
yes? Well, people are less religious. So religious has gone down, but exorcisms and demonic possession and mental health and for whatever reason, desperation, it might be a demon, call somebody. I mean, let's think of it. When you go crazy, your options are kind of nil. I mean, if you really are hearing voices, you can go this way and possibly be medicated for life, be found incompetent to raise your children and put in a system. Or you can go to a person in a robe and a hat and they can give you a story and you can decide whether or not you want to believe that. Or you can go to Google. These are kind of the three options that we have these days. And so the fact that people would go to another person, but not the person with the medication and the badge, but the person with the hat and the robe. Yeah, that would make sense. And there's a pandemic and there's all kinds of stress and the ascension, Nibiru, conspiracy theories, Illuminati. I mean, wherever you want to go, it's here. And so people are freaking out. So I would say exorcisms go up. And I know that's true because it is. But religion goes down because you look at millennials. I don't want to get political, but the like me first and the gimme gimme movement is not terribly faithful.
No, you're right.
Kind of selfish. So servitude is not one of their mottos.
I love the punk reference, by the way.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm not a huge me first and gimme gimmes, but I'll do it.
Do you think
a Goldfinger?
What percentage of like what percentage of like possessions or people that go for exorcisms, what do you think is like legit versus a mental health issue or somebody looking for attention or believing too much what they see on TV?
You're asking me legit as in, do I think that there's a black cloudy spirit with a big evil grin and a name that is going to be sent back to a helly place, right between us and China?
Right.
Do I think that's real? No, that's not real. But is there significant yin energy and an imbalance in this person's system that has caused an imbalance in their central nervous system, hormones, irregulation? Now they're completely dysfunctional and they need to have some sort of belief system and way of guidance to get them back. And that needs to happen. And me going, oh, you're here, is going to give them hope.
I'm sure you just called a turkey.
That
I
is
was wondering
real.
what was just running around my room.
I'm hungry all of a
That
sudden.
is real.
Oh, shit, that's my
And
cat.
that is 80% of it. Because people that really do call on exorcisms, and the exorcisms that really do happen, because the church is kind of vigorous to who they respond to, it's like real shit. Like real, like weird, creepy stuff, slime on the walls, and getting weird EVPs, and just strange. A lot of thoughts of like, you get really angry. Like if you've ever had rage, and an unhealthy amount of rage because maybe your mental health's a little off, and you had the rage, and maybe you're in front of somebody and you go, holy cow, I need to check myself. That was crazy. And you have a moment and you check yourself.
We're having no more mediums
Possession.
on this show.
I feel attacked.
I feel like exactly. Yeah,
Possession
no more.
is when
Your
you
fault,
have that
Kenna.
moment of rage, but you don't stop and go, whoa, I need to check myself. Instead, you're going, whoa, where did that come from? This isn't me. Oh my God. Like, I can't even, where?
And that's why I asked about that whole spiritual killer. Jesus, there's a lot of those out there, but like serial killer.
Freudian slip. Yeah.
Because for the longest time, I was diagnosed bipolar. I was diagnosed with PTSD, manic depressant, insomnia. And once I started getting a little bit more spiritual and getting more in tune and in line with angels, this was about 12 years ago, I stopped taking all my medication. I felt like a huge burden has been lifted from me, but I still have my fits where I still feel depressed and have these issues. But then I remind myself, I look at what's going on in my life and I'm like, why do I feel this way? There's no need for my anxiety. There's no need for my depression. And that, I highly agree with what you're saying. I think it's definitely insightful.
Fun fact is that Kenna and Sarah actually helped fix my depression.
Yeah, now you're just a big old ball of sunshine.
And now I'm an unstoppable force.
Tech
Nine beats
Wu-Tang.
Wu-Tang.
Oh, I do. I got to go with Sarah on this one. I like Tech 9.
You guys are complete
Yeah.
asshats. Like what? On Wednesday
I'm
of
from
all
Kansas City,
days, dude? It's Woo Wednesday.
Hey.
I know.
It's hump day in my world.
Here, how about
Woo
this?
Wednesday second.
I have
Woo
never
Wednesday
listened
for
to
you.
either one of those.
Steven, you need to go too.
I jam out to Tech 9, not Wu Tang.
I like that.
Steve,
I
I'm
tried.
glad I knew you.
I'm just a baby.
Fun fact is on the Wu-Tang Pandora, they play Tech 9. It
I know.
segues. I
have
love
know.
Tech 9, but Tech 9 is
Spotify.
not Wu-Tang.
I'm just a
They're
baby.
not.
That's all. I don't. This is all stuff before my time.
Shut up, Steve. Cut it out.
Yeah, he's
Really?
He's on Eminem
Am I
and Mac
old?
Miller.
I don't
I'm
look
not-
old. I've taken my potions, guys.
I'll
I'm
be
not that old.
28 in March. I'll be 28.
Listen, but the Wu still make music, Steve.
Baby.
They still make music.
I think I have boobs your age.
Yeah, he
Anyway.
still listens to Omarion.
I know I have an
and
armadillo
Room
purse your
112.
age.
Wait, who do I listen to?
Omarion in Room 112.
Yeah, I know who that
There's
is.
nothing wrong with Icebox. There's nothing
Chris
wrong with
Breezy,
Icebox.
Cisco, you listen to the thong song?
Cisco before
Or the
his
song
time.
song.
I know the song.
Nothing
song.
wrong with that. Yeah.
I
Okay.
want-
Yeah. Okay.
Hi, Emma.
No, well, before we do run out of time, I want you to go into
I
detail.
don't know why I
a
feel like
little
this helps me hear better.
No, Sarah only got a half hour. We can
If,
stay as long
if
as she
you
needs.
guys want to go longer because she was having some issues, we can.
Yeah,
Well,
I can go a little longer.
That's what
Well,
she
I
said.
just
Because
wanted
we
to
were
make
having
sure that
issues.
We
Thank you,
brought
George.
up the Gypsy Tribe. I want everyone to know like what it is, what you're doing, what you're teaching. So Sarah is actually my mentor right now. My spiritual mentor. She founded the Gypsy Tribe, and go into a little bit of detail what you're doing, what you're teaching. You get a lot.
It's a question that it's kind of interesting because, you know, I wish that I had an ego like Matt and that I filmed myself and was good at video editing and could do like videos, but I don't. I'll forget, or I'll be like, no, and it never happens. But I do find people reach out to me for readings, and then they'll be like, hey, could you be my counselor? Like, could we do that? And so there's like this crossover. And I was for a long time thinking, how do I make this crossover work for me as well as for my client? And the Gypsy Tribe came about because people would ask me, like, how did you learn magic? Or how do you learn how to do spells? Or what does that mean? Like, because there's what we know and what we learn, like what Disney Channel has taught us, and like Grimm's fairy tales and Hollywood. I mean, a lot of us are visual, and we don't get the hand-me-down magic anymore. And so how and where do you get that? And it's difficult to trust your resources or your sites. And so the Gypsy Tribe kind of evolved from that. So some people were working on like, how do you become psychic? Or if they're very bipolar and they're having voices, some people feel like they're communicating with aliens. How do we minimize the anxiety over that and actually use that to function? And then maybe somebody else wants to learn how to read people when they walk in the room. How do I do cold readings and know exactly what zodiac somebody is? And then how do I use that information to get where I want? How do you manipulate? And I know that word is kind of a dirty, naughty word, but manipulating energy is really what everyone's goal is. You know, you want to be able to get from point A to point B without hurting anybody, without losing integrity. And doing that is sometimes easier said than done. So magic, I like to apply it to like science. I'm a huge science nerd, and I have a lot of men that work with me who I'm very, I'll go ahead and say it. I'm kind of a traditionalist. Feminist is a wrong word, because I would say I'm anti-feminist, and people would probably say I'm an anti-feminist, but I wouldn't say that. But I like, not to get political, but like the recent judge nominee and her being discredited because she subscribes to the obeying of her husband. I thought that was a really interesting rebuttal, because Christianity says that in their scripture for like marriage, that you obey. And the patriarch kind of has always been that way. And it doesn't have to be that way, but it works that way. And why does it work that way? Because masculine energy and feminine energy are real. Men are stronger physically. Women are nurturers by default. Like, am I going to be a sexist? And do I consider it prejudice? No. But there's certain science that supports like biological behaviors and psychological strengths and the way that we manipulate energy. The way women can manipulate words is not as easy as the way a man can manipulate wood. And so,
have you been watching?
No, there's a double part from there.
I was letting that one go.
You can never let those go, Mike.
There are strengths in every category, and I like to teach people how to use their strengths. And so, like, for example, this month we're talking about guarding, and you know, words that you hear all the time in the paranormal and spiritual community, like ground yourself. Center yourself. You know, what the hell does that mean? What the hell does that mean?
I feel like
What
you
are
would
you
be
doing?
the, like, perfect operator.
Well, I mean, some monks can lower their darn body temperature. Like Joe Rogan's always gets a hard on for this, because like you can move your temperature from one hand to the other. You know what I mean? Like, this is real. Monks can do this, power of the mind. But is that the same as grounding and centering and meditating? Like, how are they doing that? And I don't have the force. Like, I want the force. You know, like I want to move stuff with my mind. How do we do that? And we can. And there are ways, but you have to practice. I mean, Beethoven didn't just plop out like that. You have to practice. And practicing witchcraft, you don't get to do that in church. Church is rigorous for servitude. They don't encourage you to do introspection. That's demonic. And that's why witchcraft is considered demonic. So there's a lot of introspection, shadow work. We get to ask questions like, what are you fighting for? What does that look like? How do you fight? And if you're guarding your spirit, what does that look like? How do you guard yourself? And what song is playing? And kind of go into the frequency. I love also thinking of this month, you guys, if you go to a paranormal conference, you hear very often I'm a light worker. I'm a light worker. I do auras and, Carillion photography. Maybe a Carillion photographer, probably not. But like auras and light work. And yeah, that's like everybody knows that. Yeah. But you never go to a table where someone's like, I'm sorry. There's a lot of minds in here. It's bad. And that's why I don't drink. But
Well, that's no fun.
you never see the booth that is like, I do microwave magic. Oh, I do radioactive magic work over here. It's like, what? Infrared,
You busted
ultraviolet.
me. That was my MadCon booth next year.
Was it?
Damn it.
Microwave magic.
Ruined.
Nobody. It's
Listen,
not
ruined.
ruined. Still do it. You'd
If
be
you
the
have a
first and only
booth-
person to
If
ever
you
have
was
have
gonna
a
put
booth,
some
it'll take away the
booths in
time
there.
you can't move my table into the parking lot 100 yards away.
I
What?
was gonna put some blueberries in it and do some fireworks. Damn, you ruined.
Yeah. It's not ruined. You can still do it. It's not ruined. But this is, the electromagnetic spectrum, we carry all these doodads in the paranormal to measure all this stuff, but yet we don't really discuss or manifest or talk about manifesting infrared. Or how do you do magic with hydrogen? How do you do magic with mercury? And why would that even matter? Well, if you're into astrology, that matters. If you're into alchemy, that matters. If you're into the Bible, that would also matter. If you're into angels, Mike, that would matter. Just
So what-
because Wednesday is Mercury, and so it's related to the lungs.
What would you tell somebody that is not religious? Like, so I always get told I need to protect myself. I have
So
to
then what
protect
would you
myself
tell
when I'm going on
Steve?
investigations. You're going to be followed home, or you're putting yourself at risk. You're too open. You don't protect yourself at all. What do you think that means if somebody's not religious? How does somebody protect themselves if there isn't a cross or a medal or something to wear that would symbolize that? And is there still a form of protection if you don't necessarily believe in religion, if that makes sense?
I'm not religious either, and I'm grounded as fuck every time I go out.
Well, I think of just
I like-
explaining it with alchemy, for example.
I guess that's what I mean. Like, I don't know how to ground myself.
I'll
or
use my
whatever,
little.
My easiest
Yeah.
way to explain is
I thought it said WAP. I was like, what?
It's not. It's not.
That's how you
WAP,
protect
it's not
yourself.
WAP.
it's
But
more
no,
along
a
the
lot of
lines-
times.
Go ahead, Sarah. I'll let you.
Where am I? No, where am I here? Where am I?
E.
Here I am.
You ready?
Elmo.
Earth.
E for Elmo.
Right. Earth, water, air, fire, right? We've heard of yin and yang energy. These are kind of where they come into play. So if you are not a religious person, which a religious person is really operating over here, they're doing disciple work, they're speaking for Christ, and they're doing servitude. And even clergy, they're not allowed to think for themselves. They're not allowed to have sex. No, none of that. You speak only the word of God, and you do the word of God. So you're servitude. But if you're not
wait,
religious, so
you gotta explain. So
What?
earth, water, air, and fire. Air, like earth is thinking, water is feeling, air is speaking, fire is doing.
these are.
I'm saying we got to break
But
that.
it's also the periodic table.
Right. I was just explaining. So when you're pointing to A and
Like
F, the
earth?
air and fire
Earth
meant.
and water.
Everybody got so quiet when I farted. I thought you heard it.
No. We
That
can't
would be
smell it.
fire, right? That's Mike's fire.
That would be fire.
Wind and fire.
Steve, if you are here wondering, okay, how do I ground myself or how do I protect myself? It's this information of what are you even worried about? What is the complaint at the location? That there's been a trauma, like Villisca, for example. I know with Johnny Hauser and Nick Groff. Let's just use him as an example because he was on the show recently, sharing a location and say there's been a horrible trauma there. And so you're worried it's going to make you think about grief in your life. Or it might make you triggered a depression or anxiety that you have. Could it be that? Could it be a water thing that it's going to affect your feelings? And if so, that you need to be in a mental space where you meditate, you make sure that you're not, sleep deprived, you're mentally fortitude, and you're there capable of your feelings being guarded, that if you need to cry, you can, or those kinds of things. Or if it's like, somebody being like, well, I don't know, we just have shit flying around and there's chairs and they just said they're crying all the time and we need to get in there and figure it out. And you have no idea. And you're not religious, but you need to go in and protect yourself. You know that the frequency is unstable. You know that there could be carbon monoxide. I mean, we go in and we check all this other stuff. It could be limestone. It could be a high EMF. Their headboard is sitting by the darn fuse box. It could be all this other stuff. It's a risky, there's an exposure. So you already are going into it thinking, I have to protect myself against possible exposure. And if it's spiritual in nature, the protection against spiritual exposure is still kind of stuff that we can physically do, like jewelry or stones, things that like change your frequency, or playing a good song, getting your mind and your body and your cellular structure like on a good vibration, wearing a certain color, being in good company. There's things that like you can do in your physical space that help shield and guide and protect you from just exposure of possible dangerous energy. It could be anything.
Awareness.
Would you describe that in one of the ways that I've always told myself, and it sounds a little, what's the word I'm thinking, completely opposite. It's sometimes it can be more of a self-fulfilling prophecy kind of thing, I guess you could say, to where you feel like you're protecting
Something
yourself.
that gives you.
Yes, it's like a state of mind.
Right.
I've always believed,
and that's a big part of it.
Yeah, I've
Placebo.
always believed that the way that spirits communicate with us is on the same wavelength in which we, as living, use our imagination. So they can, the spirits can read our imaginations and pick up on it. So if you want to protect yourself from all four sides, you could protect yourself with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles standing in a square, and spirits would know those are your protectors and leave you alone.
Sure.
Because I used to go to investigations and surround myself with a sponge, which would mean it would give me the allowance to soak energy in, but keep the negative out, if that makes sense.
It's your awareness. However,
Well,
This. I know it's not a boob. It's not an anus. It could be a cell, an electron.
Matt sent me a very similar picture yesterday.
Yeah.
It could be a person and their bioelectric field. It could be a radiating cell. It could be an orb, whatever we want to say it is. Energy radiates in that circular space, right? So in the center, you have those things that are very much your intentions and your thoughts, and your Ninja Turtles are there to protect you. And that placebo plays a really integral part of your belief
that's
system.
what I was trying to call it. Yes.
It's your awareness.
But there's going to be a level in here in your bioelectric field where either you're Matt Warner and you're worried about what other people are going to think. And so you're like, I'm not going to fucking wear this turquoise ring. It makes me look stupid. And so you're not going to do it. Or maybe you're like Steve and you're skeptical and you're thinking like, yeah, sure, I believe the Ninja Turtles are protecting me and I did all my woo-woo stuff, but like seriously though, what should I be doing? There's like this line in the sand right before we start doing, and it's skepticism. It's perfect, it's healthy, it's natural. And then what, like, yeah, I'm excited to be here and taking this medication and my optimism is going to help me in my treatment. But what's in the drug? Like what's it really doing? That at some point there is things like maybe you carry your Ninja Turtle stone, but that's still very subjective. At what point do you start doing things because of the environment? Like, oh, it's a limestone building, so I'm going to bring some hematite because I'm a geologist and I know my shit. Or, oh, it's Mercury retrograde, so I'm going in with Eris, the goddess of communication and fire, and I've got my firestone, and that's going to help me because I'm working on that energy. Like, at what point and where in the frequency are you going to step into the external realm and say, I need this to actually combat this energy?
Do it because of you.
Yeah.
If I'm going to Waverly, I'm carrying a darn crystal in my pocket. And I'm going to do the things that I do. But if somebody asked me to like, you don't have your crystal, are you okay? I'd be like, yes. But if I had my crystal, it not only helps me feel okay, but then I can say it's actually a physical thing I can touch that triggers that thought, but it's also a physical thing that's a barrier against external negative.
Ask you. Do you think a lot of like the protection and the, you know, when people leave saying you can't come home, you have to stay here, do you think a lot of it is a mental thing more than anything like actually protecting you? Like it's more to make you feel better about you being there and you investigating it? Like, is there actually something to protect against, or is it just like peace of mind kind of thing?
It is your mind.
It's
your
very
mind
much peace of mind, but I also think, will your mind power like that, your light energy, your bioelectric field? I feel like, and I don't know, and I don't want to dare say that I would say like, I think it's this, but I think it's probably, I don't know, 6 or 7 feet. It seems like that if you invoke whatever it is you're invoking, or maybe even it's as far as your voice travels. This would be a good thing for you guys all to, let's all discuss. How far does your magic extend, depending on if you're vocal or you're manifesting an intention? When you say, you're not allowed to come home with me.
I'm sure
really
that's
just
exactly
kind
how
of
Steve sounds
send
too.
that sparkle command.
For me, it's just a bubble.
I have
It's a little bubble.
I have seen some weird stuff at Paranormal Investigations. Into the light, Caroline. You'll never have problems again, I promise. $40 though. Please send me $40. Just whatever. And I think that you command your own space. And you command that space, and it goes with you like your little bubble. I mean, your little bioelectric field. And can stuff come with you and be like, fuck that bitch. I don't care what she says. I'm going home with her. She looks like fun. She's got good cleavage. She's got a fun house. She's got stones in her pocket. I'm going with her. And they decide to do that, can they?
Again.
Yes, they can. They can do what they want. And they don't have the same rules we have.
Right.
But can they affect you? If you've decided and declared you're not coming home with me, then when you come home and something falls off the counter, you're not thinking,
Right.
you're thinking, I told that bitch she couldn't come home with me, so it's just something falling off the counter.
Right. I said it too close to the counter. It's something normal at this point.
Yeah.
We do have a question in the chat. Somebody wants to know what you think about astral projection.
It's our buddy
Ooh,
Emma.
I like astral projection.
Yeah, Mike was right on that.
Look at that. He's ready to click.
Yeah.
It was like
Oh, it's Emma.
4
I
comments
like Emma.
up.
Mike, give yourself the credit and accept the compliment, goddammit.
Thanks. I love
Yeah,
you
That's
guys.
$5. I'm sorry, Kenna.
I love you guys.
Astral projection, I think, is different than an out-of-body experience. But if you're astrally projection, then you're projecting. That's not a word. Projecting your
It is tonight.
astral self.
Man,
But what is your
man.
astral self? If you haven't dignified a difference between your spiritual self and your genitals, your astral self and your soul that's going to hell, or whatever your thoughts are, like the layers of yourself. What? Layers of yourself. That there's a part of it that's astral, and it's not in reference to anything physical, and you can go there and you can see things and you can experience things. In the astral realm, you can go in and out of time. You can go to the past, you can go to the future, you can go to the present. It's kind of like remote viewing, but not, because it's different. It's a different frequency.
Mm-hmm.
And astral projection, what? You can take some magic mushrooms and do it by accident. You can learn to do it through practice. Some people do it at sleep, just by going into the hypnagogic state. They get that shake. I love the movie Inception and how they showed the shake,
I love that
because I'm
movie.
licensed. I love that movie.
Great fucking movie if you've never seen it. I will pay
Inception.
$5 for that one. Totally worth the F-bomb.
Totally worth it. But they, in hypnosis, so since I'm a licensed hypnotherapist and we do like past life regressions, but we also do it for clinical treatment, there's a shake. And it's the shake like if you're watching The Fourth Kind or any other kind of horror movie and they hypnotize somebody and there's like, okay, 3, 2, 1. That, the drop. Or in a rapid induction, someone jerks your arm and you see the head fall, if you're into that kind of thing. But Matt is raising his hand. What?
It's been raised.
This has been up for like 10 minutes. I'm going to lose.
He's a very good student.
I just want to know if you could help me astral project to Scotland. I have an
What a
important mission.
dork.
What a dork.
No, because you want to go there with your genitals, and that's not a part of the astral
Are you going
realm.
to show Emma your
How
astral
do you
projected wiener?
How do you know that though?
Because I'm psychic.
Are you 100% sure?
I'm 102% sure.
Well,
Not to say we can't help you remote view, but that's voyeurism.
I
And
think
that's
he already does
another
that. I think he already does
I
And
know
you
when
need
she's in the
consent.
shower.
You need to have consent.
Watch it.
Spiritual rape.
But that is real. That is real.
Mike, don't use that word.
Yeah. Astral projection's real. You can do it. I can do it. We can do it. I don't necessarily do it. But hypnosis can help you do it. And yeah. Yay, mushrooms. I've never done mushrooms, but apparently they help.
Well,
Erin says she's 200% sure you need to astral project.
I'm 200% sure he needs that. See? There
That's
it
the
is.
first time we've ever agreed on anything.
Except the Notebook.
The referee
Don't
and
lie.
shaman.
You
Mike,
wanted
I don't
watch
want to hear
it.
that talk.
You wanted to
So
watch it.
one of the things that
Yes,
Sarah
you, buddy.
does, Sarah, you do several different kinds of readings, and I want you to explain like the different readings you do. But I also wanted to tell the crew. I haven't told y'all this. Sarah already knew this, but just I know that it's been like tough on everybody right now, and I
You
went.
got a hot hat?
The Bob the
Yeah,
Builder's hat?
so I was a safety medic at the. I've got y'all's names in here. I was a safety medic for the building of the African American Smithsonian in DC.
You said you had names in there?
Yeah,
And you turned it
so
upside down and they all fall?
no, I took them out, silly.
Oh.
Yeah. So Sarah, tell what kind of readings you do, and also I'm gonna draw one of y'all's names, and there's a reading on the house for y'all from me. Sarah.
I already know who
Yeah,
it is.
so I wanted y'all. So I've done several readings with Sarah. She does psychic readings, past life regressions. She has the Gypsy Tribe. What all kinds of readings do you do, Sarah? So that our viewers, and also, are we gonna boozy it up with if our
Been
viewers
boozing it up.
were to buy readings or Gypsy Tribe? Can we throw them like a little discount if they're on here
Yeah,
for tonight?
I'm gonna get I'm going to my website right now, and we're gonna put in a coupon code
For booze.
Boozy.
for booze and boozy, bougie,
Bad and boozy.
Sounds too
bad and bougie. But as far as what kind of readings I do,
WAP?
WAP,
Yes, make it
I can't.
WAP.
Yeah, y'all sell WAP?
craft,
Which
Whack,
is in potions.
macaroni and cheese. I do.
Mac and cheese.
Which is in podcasts.
God.
Divination. So if you go to paranormalsarah.com, because if you say it 3 times, it sticks. If you go to paranormalsarah.com, you will see different kinds of readings and divination, because sometimes people want a palm reading. Can I do that? Yeah. Or they want iridology. Can I do that? Yeah. Because when I go in and talk to somebody that I don't have a lot of time with, I want to be able to use every piece of information I can to get every piece of information I can from their body. So call it profiling. It might be naughty, but it's a lot of what our body tells about our energy. So it's just like someone reading an aura. Reading the body is very similar. If you've got yellow eyes, you probably have jaundice. It's like just being able to see, liver problems in your skin and eyes, like your body tells that story. So divination, I love to do that. But divination is also just information. So people will be like, do you do pendulums? Yeah, I can do pendulums. Do you do psychic readings? Yeah, I'll tell you my psychic, what I get and what guides I get and past life readings.
Really
I do. I don't like.
You had some
What?
important
Pertinent
information when we did our reading, like a lot of really important stuff that you had no clue about, came up right away. It was that's my favorite reading is the intuitive reading.
People will ask like intuitive, right? Like what the hell do you get? It's just one of those hands in the air. What the hell do you get? Where like past lives or like, ooh, I get this or ooh, I get that. Like going from Mike, like you look at Mike.
Why would you want
Mike,
to?
Well, because like if we just go across to everybody, and I know it's kind of a cheat because I know Kenna
People
and
don't
Matt
come
already
here
a little
for
bit,
me.
Kenna a lot. But like Mike, when I watch you, you have a very feminine energy about you. I say that in that you're nurturing. That means you're susceptible to over-loving and being used.
He did come up with the idea for the drag investigating too.
Listen. You're not far from
Well,
home.
this feminine energy is really interesting because that tells me that you're going to be a yin person. So that means you're already earth water. So that means I'm already taking you into an earth water sign.
So
but how rational are you? Tonight he's talked about dreams and imagination and this and that. So that tells me he's a water sign. And has he been forward? Is he over talking? Is he like Matt? No. Is he easily influenced and malleable? No. So he's a fixed sign. So he's probably going to be like a Scorpio. And this is somebody that
he is a Scorpio.
Well, in that fixed sign. But you look at this but your energy I love because you are someone like you have mile markers.
I'll tell you.
You have mile markers.
I was born on the cusp.
Were you? A cusp of what?
24th.
Oh, your birthday's coming up.
Yep.
Your birthday's coming up, Mike.
Wilson
Happy
Castle.
birthday. Yes.
Wilson.
That's right. If I didn't have such bad anxiety and I had more money, I'd be there. Those are my two things that are holding me back, just so you know. But like those things, like doing a reading, I'd be delving right into some of those things. I'd be going into locations. There's some tombstones or like mile markers that are showing up. I'd want to be going to those spots. So either remote viewing or a past life. We need to go there. Or like Tori. Well, if you say Vermont, that tells me you want to go to Vermont. So I'm going to say, well, it might be. I feel a great, yes, Vermont feels right. I'll tell you what I do see. I see a location that's a 2-story location that was either a school or a house. It was a location that was used for 2 different things. And I'm seeing something at the top of the stairs when I go there that's telling me to talk to you to come here. So that's where we would probably go.
Yep, I know where it is already.
I'm not sure where it is because I don't want to go there. But if we went there in a reading, I'd be like, oh, okay, now I'm seeing this. And I'd allow myself to take in some details. But we're not doing that. We'd go to Tori. Tori. I feel like Tori is maybe struggling a little bit tonight. I feel like she's, now I know she's an empath, but just knowing that this is a really hard time for empaths. So she's probably struggling with anxiety and depression and really, really, really on the cusp of dealing with the insomnia that's going around, the lack of appetite, the nausea. Did I eat something wrong? Feeling sick. Yeah, well, they're real heavy for empaths right now, whether you're conscious to it or not. And so for Tori, it would be like nurturing and self-care and delegation. Kenna, I know Kenna, so that's not fair. Matt, I know a little bit of Matt. I mean, I know that he's recently fallen in love. I know that he's a dad to a wiser soul than he. I know that he has certain little fetishes and...
What?
Yes, he does. Yes, he does.
He's like, don't read that part. Don't read that box.
That was supposed to stay in Tennessee.
You said I was feminine. I want to know one fetish.
What? You've got, I mean, obviously you look at the walls behind you and you can see that you're like into weird collections and things like that. But people that are into weird collections and niches also are hoarders. And so these people that like to keep and contain and have, and they're control freaks, which means you don't have any control. And I also know that you're into fitness. And so you're trying to control your image. And that's a really important thing. Most people want to do it, but don't. I mean, if it were easy, everybody would do it. So I know you have some fortitude, but I also know that you're kind of immature. And this all comes together in a body that, well, you're older than you look, that surprised me when I met you. Because I was like, oh my God, this guy's like 23. And then when I learned you were like...
You hear that, Aaron?
I was really surprised.
You wouldn't even be able to tell he's like 60.
Really surprised. I was like, he's my age? Wow. I'm a vampire, so I won't disclose my age, but Matt is older than he says he is. Listeners do know this. But he's a fitness instructor, so he looks really good, which is a good sale. But you just...
okay, you said I'm immature, but you said I looked good, so I'll let it pass.
That's all that matters.
That's a trade.
You've got weird things that I want to go into, like
do it.
Weird little memories and weird little like the fetish things. And I don't mean that sexually. I mean that like in life.
Well,
Like,
you better fill these people in what you mean, because now I look like a freak.
Tell them
you can't
about
do that.
We already knew that.
That comes
she's reading the peanut.
right.
You know how you put the peanut butter between your toes?
What?
I'm just kidding.
I'm just
Maybe he
scared.
eats the
for you.
mattress cushion at night. No.
Yeah.
I feel like you're full of adventure and curiosity, and you're like a Jack in the Box, and it's just there's adrenaline, there's some adrenaline stuff there, and there's just a lot of stuff that I would want to be going into. And then Steve,
Oh boy.
I mean, I like Steve because I'm into neurolinguistics. So as far as like what I wanted to be when I grew up, I wanted to be a doctorate in forensics and be the person that went to court and either did prosecuting or defense attorney for an expert witness to say this person's crazy or not. I like, I'm not interested in treatment. I don't care about people. I'm interested in the competency and the assessment. It's the puzzle for me. And I like language. I like linguistics. Parlez-vous français, whether it's double Dutch, I love ebonics. And the Ouija board is all around him. So he's kind of cryptic. So he's somebody that's probably got an alias. He's probably a gamer. I don't know. He's got some introspection too. No, totally. He's got an alias. I would be interested in what it is. I don't know. Steve is very guarded. And I mean, you've shared that you're not religious and you're skeptical, but I would dare say you're probably more spiritual than most people. Even though you're not religious, you're very spiritual and quite guilty. You carry a lot of baggage. I would want to be doing cord cutting with you. I feel like you've maybe been strangled or strained or constrained, or like a Houdini, maybe put in an underwater. There's some like death trauma that I see with you that I would want to be cutting some cords and cutting baggage so that you were more confident in yourself, because you have a lot of potential, but you guard it. And that to me is kind of interesting, because usually men don't do that, which is also kind of a feminine trait. I can see why you get along with Mike and Matt.
I'm not the only one.
Do I get along with Mike and Matt?
Matt wears the pants. Apparently,
Excuse
Matt
me?
wears the pants.
But
Oh,
what people
Steve's a
want
little spoon.
when they come to me is not what I see. It's not like that. It's not like I would go there. Some people go, hey, I just want intuitive reading. Tell me what you get. Some people go, I want to talk to my Uncle John. Nobody else, nothing else, that person. And it's like, Uncle John might not want to fucking talk with you. Uncle John might
That's
be
$5.
busy. Uncle John might be reincarnated. But I'll ethically take your money for the meditating time to try and connect with John. I mean, it feels really weird. I'll do it. And 80% of the time, I do get a message. Am I always skeptically thinking, I'm broken today. I'm no longer magical. Where is the force? Is it something I eat? Come on. Yeah. Messages come to me. I deliver it. And people go, oh my God, that's divine. And I go, well, fuck me. I don't know how it is, but it is. And we go on with our day. $5. It's one of those, it's interesting. And depending on what people want, I will absolutely tell you if I can or cannot achieve that. And I'll be very honest with you about the way in which we do it. I'll even share with you my process, which I think is what maybe people, they join the Gypsy Tribe because they want to learn, and they're interested in hearing my crazy mind when I say, okay, let's learn how to manipulate bounty season. What does that mean? It means that, well, like this month right now, there is a magical phrase this month that all witches are aware of, that their ears are attuned to. And if you hear this phrase, this noun or this verb, it gives you dramatic insight into a person's soul. Don't you want to know what that word is? Don't you want to know how to use it?
Your hand up. Your hand
No, this is courtesy. Did you guys not go to public school?
I did, but I didn't pay attention.
What is it?
Erin would like her question answered, and the reason, can you pull that up, Michael?
What's an intuitive witch and a gray witch?
The reason she wants that answered is
Wrong
because
one.
Sarah implied that she may be that prior to this show to me, and Erin has been intrigued by it the entire time.
What?
The question is posed to you.
What's an intuitive witch and gray witch? Are you saying like what's the difference of the two? What are the two?
That's what she said that Erin, she gave the vibe of, that Erin gave her the vibe of.
Okay. So there's all different types of witches, right? Where people try and label themselves, I'm a green witch, meaning you work with herbs and herbology and go out into the forest and hug trees. Or people would call me, what kind of witch are you, Sarah? If I'm going to a witch ball and I have to have a pen, I would be a necromancer. What does that mean? It means I work with liminal guides. It means I've been around death, dead people, forensics. My husband was a sniper. We deal with death a lot. It's a part of our life. And whether I've liked it or not, I have empathy there. An intuitive witch is someone who is open to working with intuition of all different types. A gray witch, in reference to gray, that's usually in reference to liminal spaces like the gray, is a necromancer, someone who's dealing with dead spirits and mediumship and, that space. Or an intuitive witch, it could be angels, what you're doing tomorrow, what you ate last night. Necromancers, we tend to be like, oh, I'm so sorry you were raped when you were 3. Wow, so sorry. And it's like, oh, I didn't want you to see that. And it's like, sorry. I was too, by the way. So cool. And it's like, we hate to be there, but at some point we go, I know what it feels like. I know what it looks like and smells like. And I'm experienced with it. And I want to help others who are in that realm. So, not that we can't all be all the witches, because I try and be a green witch. I kill all my plants, but I try, and I don't try and be a dark witch, but sometimes you have to be, right, Matt?
Absolutely. I thrive in the darkness.
Serious question on the board right
Can't
now.
have a light without a dark. Yes.
Should a witch charge $7 for a sticker?
They should be 2 for $5.
Do whatever she damn well wants. What is the sticker made out of? And is it worth $7?
It's not worth $7 to start.
That's why his table got moved 100 yards.
One of my favorite witches of all time, his name is Daniel Martin Diaz. He plays an organ and dresses like a gypsy man and does like Leonardo da Vinci work. He charges $21 for his pens.
See?
But we're talking about
Steve dresses like that and charges $7.
I'm a bargain.
But people buy it. And I wish I could buy it.
No, they don't.
Unfortunately,
Hey, I just had to make
it
I just had to make more because I sold out. All right.
It was the biggest upgrade I've put on my truck ever.
Yeah, that's what Matt Wise said. The most expensive upgrade on his truck.
Man, a price on anything paranormal is always an ethical dilemma. You got to be ready to put on your bullets and get ready to fight. But I always just equate it to my time.
I support, my friends and everybody, though, so I was willing to pay.
I probably would have sold more if my table wasn't 100 yards off in the parking lot somewhere.
You probably would have sold more if they were affordable to the American man.
Maybe you should have better security.
Were they good pens? I mean,
There were
stickers.
stickers.
Buy them?
There were 7-inch stickers.
There were stickers.
A decal.
He's a size queen, first of all.
What?
He's a size queen.
When I think of a sticker, I think of going and putting them on the inside of all the bathroom stalls.
See, these are car decals for windows.
Advertisement ever. Inside of every stall.
One of our fabulous viewers actually has a whole handful of stickers from Warner Paranormal and Bare Bones Gym. They cost nothing. I love my people.
When you're up here, I'm gonna have you talk to Sid, and you guys can hatch this all out.
No.
And
yeah, I
Steve,
gotta agree
you just
Brian.
tell them. You get what you pay for. If it costs nothing, hey, it might be worth nothing.
Right?
Oh.
Hey, Brian, I got denied my house.
Sarah, I was going to send you a whole set, but now I don't know.
Hey, I'm just speaking up for Steve, okay?
Don't be over there shuffling her hat with names. I don't want to pull names.
I got denied a house loan.
Make it scratch and sniff next time. Right.
At the bottom of a pool.
Yes, I want to see who gets a free reading.
Let's see.
Okay.
Kenna, did you put your own name in there?
Sarah, there's a big comment I'd like you to take a look at too when you get a chance.
What is it?
It's actually my aunt Steph. She's been looking for a missing friend for a while. So, Mike, can you put that one up? It's massive.
I've gone to a couple searches for a woman that's been missing from my town for just over a year. Psychic has said her body is in a cylindrical object. So that's suggestion. Poop. I don't want to read that. Like a well or a tunnel in a cranberry bog. Poop. Cranberry. That means they're in the south, somewhere in the water. I know it sounds silly, but if the psychics came on a search, could they find her easier? Like you're getting warmer or colder? So you're talking proximity. If a psychic came on a search, could they find her easier because of proximity? For some people, intuition does work on proximity. So if they go to a location, they pick up on the vibes a lot easier than if they're not there. Or if they're sitting and doing a live reading, it's much easier to connect with the person than if you're over the internet. Proximity matters to both our belief system and to how information comes to us because of integrity. It's like playing telephone. Distance does matter. So I think you get a higher probability of getting more accurate, relevant, helpful information when you're in a closer proximity to something.
Just depends how people read, really. Some people read good that way. Some people, it's really an individual. All right.
When I think of myself, like connecting, have her send me a name, or send me. I don't ever like too much information, but let's face it, it's not about like, let me see how much I can get right. Send me very vague information and test me. I don't give a shit about that.
Does the name begin with a B? For some reason, I got a B. No, her friend she's trying to find. I'm getting a B.
No, I don't believe so.
There's the name right there.
Yeah.
I was close.
What's her name?
Sandra.
Yeah, her name. I need to pull this name for like an hour. She's got her name already pulled. It's in her hand.
Yeah. No.
That's why you wanted it pulled.
Who is it? Who is it? Steve. Yes. Okay, good. Steve, it might be a dark reading.
Okay, good.
Who knows what will come up? But contact me so that we can do a reading for you. Definitely. And this is also another thing that's kind of interesting about my readings. Can we do them in person over Zoom or Facebook? Yes, we can. But I do have children and a dog and all that other shit. So I actually, a long time ago, started doing pre-recorded readings. I can still do them live if you want. But one of the things about a skeptical mind, and I challenge any of my psychics out there, try and do this and see how your intuition works, because it tends to kind of flow better, actually. Without the suggestion of a person, I have them give me vague information or just say, hey, I want to know about my love life, or whatever you get, or grandma, or whatever. And then I talk like to myself for 45 minutes to an hour. And there's not like you giving me anything. Oh my God, yes, that's right. No, she totally said nothing. I'm just talking to the ether. Well, and then I get this, and then people are like, how can you talk for 45 minutes with nothing? And it's actually really easy, and it's dissociative stream. And I've learned that the skepticism is better. People, they receive it, they can re-listen to it. Then they can re-listen to it and go, oh my God, she said that. Then when it comes to fruition, they can re-listen to it and go, yep, she did say that, and it did come, and it did happen. And I didn't even say anything to her because it wasn't like we were talking. And I like to have information work against suggestion. The psychologist in me, I think, I want information to be received. So I kind of preface it with, it's going to be happy and fun. It's going to be helpful. Yay. And then sometimes I like for you not to say anything so that your skeptical mind can receive it openly and not think it was a trick. Not think it was what you wanted to hear.
I'm ready. I'm excited. I'm glad. I'm excited to see what happens.
Send me where you'd like to go and what you'd like to do.
All right.
So what do you guys have? Any last final questions?
Mike, what were you just saying?
I just told Janice she could PayPal me $2. She could PayPal Steve for a finder's fee for that sticker.
Oh.
Or Leanne, I'm sorry. $2 finder fee.
Janice could also just send me an SASE, which stands for self-addressed stamped envelope, and I'll send you a whole pile of stickers for free. My stickers are the jam.
I think it was Leanne.
Don't say those things if you don't want people to know you're an old vampire man. Okay.
I am eternally youthful. Look at the pores. There are none. The skin is small.
I know. We've done our magic, but you just said an anagram that I'm pretty sure died 80 years ago.
I still send letters. I sent a love letter to Erin in goddamn Scotland today, and I owe $5. Freak.
Well, bless you, good man. Bless you. And we appreciate that. The younger generation is not going to know what you're
43 minutes with no GDs.
Okay, so we have a lot of people that are wanting Sarah to do readings.
Yeah.
I know we were talking earlier today about setting up a discount code through your website.
Let me do it. I'm doing it right now. I'm going to my
Squarespace.com.
What's the website
again? Give everybody the website again so they can
It is
Go-
paranormalsarah.com. Paranormalsarah.com.
With an
Does it,
H.
when you click on the website, does it sing?
Nailed it.
No, it does not. And it's with an H. It's the biblical Sarah. It's ironic. But it's also my name.
How long are you extending this offer?
I'll do it till the end of October because it's Halloween time.
Oh, that's
And
awesome.
I will make
You
a flyer. I'll make a promotional flyer this weekend. We can put it out and promote it.
Put it on the booze page. There we go.
Let's do it. And let's do it. I'm going to go ahead and put it for usually, I'll be honest with you guys. Usually I don't allow it to apply to my Gypsy Tribe because that's special.
We're just awesome.
But I don't really know how to make it apply to specific things. I'm technologically not savvy. So it's going to apply to everything.
What
And let's
percent
do
are you taking off?
Let's do 15%. So boo
Thanks. There you
15.
go.
Yeah, boo 0015, and it expires on the full moon.
And you actually have
B0015.
some Gypsy Tribe spots open right now, don't you? Do you have any available or are you full?
No, I have 2 spots open. I was saving one for Matt, but it's a busy month. I don't know if he's going to get to it. But
Yeah,
November
no,
looks better for me.
next month
You
I
get
do.
4-hour classes. So with if someone signs up for the Gypsy Tribe, you meet weekly. It's a minimum of an hour.
Right.
And then
It's an hour we meet and we get to talk about you and talk about stuff. Some people use it for readings. Some people use it for therapy. Some people use it for what are we talking about? What were those secret words so that I can know how to look into someone's soul this month? What are witches doing this month? Sarah, teach me.
astrology,
Sometimes I do that too. You do
zodiac,
whatever you
serial
want.
killers,
Hocus pocus.
forensic,
I do have a question. whenever
quantum
you have it.
mechanics.
Yes, Tori.
Do you find bodies? Because I will pay you.
That's dark.
It is. But I'll tell you why. There are 2 girls here that went missing in 1998. They were abducted. They were murdered. A guy was just arrested within the last 6 to 7 months. But he won't tell the mother where the bodies are at. And the mother has liver failure and she's getting ready to die. I will pay you if you can find them. Well, I'll pay you if you try.
It
to
wouldn't
find
even
them
be
or
money.
whatever.
It would be like, you and I contact each other and try and meditate on that because that's a 2-part thing. One, it would be, I want to deeply meditate and see what information I get. And then also I would apply my rational mind to just looking at the case. 2, working on missing children's as a psychic. I always tell people out there, if you're practicing your psychic intuitions, be very careful with missing children's and things, because if you turn out to be accurate, you become a suspect.
Right.
So be very careful. How do you know this? Is a very real question they will ask you.
Right.
And telling them
Yeah,
that
that
my
story.
psychic guides gave me that information doesn't work. So
And then
that
if
is
you
a
turn
real.
out wrong, you're a fake.
If you turn out wrong, then you're just a faker piece of crap. So
Right.
who cares? But any information is helpful. So let's do that and let's see the jurisdiction to make sure they're helpful. But also, one of the cool things about the Gypsy Tribe is, like Steve, I'm a skeptic and I like probability. So I love to be able to put something in a way that's visual, information, important, post it and say, okay, Gypsy Tribe members, everybody that's intuitive, what do you get? And then you have 30 responses and 20 of them are the same thing. Oh, snap. Probability would have me looking. I'm going to go where the 20 people saw something. And I like that. So let's do both.
Well, one of the things that I have found really interesting, Sarah, you and I have I've been in the Gypsy Tribe almost a whole year now, right? Is it November maybe?
Right.
But from the beginning of Gypsy Tribe to now, I've seen some of the things that we'll do are these psychic exercises where she'll have 4 cards from different decks of many things, and she'll you get into the zone and you see, like Sarah's doing now.
Say,
Yeah.
Mike,
Is there a
what
cat
do
on the
you
other side?
see?
A cat.
No, there's not.
That's the beer talking.
It's the
No,
big,
but it feels
why
like
would
that.
you say that?
I don't know.
That's what we want to find out, right?
I mean,
So that's the kind of stuff that we talk about. Why would you say cat? And what is on the other side?
It got to the point where, so the more that I learned, the more that was taught, the more that I studied, there was this, like, I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, I see the skull. I see a skull. It's like black and white. I see red. This is all the things that I'm seeing. And she is like, whoop, and flips the card. And it's a black and white skull with red writing, everything that I described. And I'm like,
Could it be because... Go ahead.
So say that again.
Practice.
Could it be because the last 2 days I thought my cat was actually dead because we couldn't find him?
Did you find your cat?
What?
Yes, we did.
Well, that's good.
Jesus, Mike, where did that come from?
Emma, it's a private thing, so it's a one-on-one.
Just so you know.
Yeah, it's a one-on-one group session that you and Sarah do on your own. It's not together.
Bye, Steve.
So all the information.
Thanks for joining us, buddy.
I scared him a little bit.
Steve's like, I don't want to hear that cat story. I'm out. He just left. No, I don't know what that was.
Find my cat. We thought he was dead. I have 2 acres, and
that scares me though.
Well,
it scares me because astrologically, now is the time for pets. Pets are going to be passing. A lot of pets are passing. A lot of accidents, a lot of car accidents are happening right now, transportation related accidents. And, you know, when I say these things and people are like, where, how do you know that? That's astrology. You know, usually people,
the Mercury
Mars retrograde and Mercury retrograde right now.
Until November the 3rd.
Mars is in Aries, so that's a lot of people feeling tension and anger.
That's crazy that you say that because we've had a lot of fatality accidents where I live here.
Car accidents.
Lots of them.
Well, and it'll be, what else is going to be really sad? Like yesterday was the day for overdoses, working in case management, looking into astrology. It's kind of sad how you can profile the day and be like, well, Neptune is in Pisces. People are going to overdose on opium, heroin, fentanyl. We're going to have that today. And sure as shit, man, every time it's like, you start looking at it and you start seeing like, wow, astrology really is prevalent. You don't have to look at it or use it or even be aware of it. But if you are, it alleviates a lot of, like, lately I've had a lot of anxiety and I've been like, oh, what's wrong with me? Oh, wait, it's fucking crazy.
Same. Yep.
You were right on the money with me with that. Lots of anxiety for like the last probably 3 weeks. Like lots.
I know that you're a healer, Tori. I've watched you on the show and I troll the show and you have this soft motherly energy. You're such an earth energy. I just feel like you are a shaman and very delicate and very gentle.
Mm-hmm.
But I also probably wouldn't. Oh, are you a nurse? Oh, good. I was thinking maybe you were a dispatcher, the way that you had said we had a lot of accidents. But I love the way that you speak to people and you're nurturing. And right now that's a really bad space because Mercury's retrograde. Everybody right now is really angry. There's a lot of tension. People are really frustrated and people are going to be assholes. And there's going to be a lot of cardiac problems. There's going to be a lot of high stress related incidences. And just kind of going in and you look at the dominoes falling and you're like, oh, I don't want to be involved in that. And you step out of it or predict it.
Right.
It's nice. Mike.
So what you're saying is there going to be 0 COVID-related cases?
No.
Jesus.
No, COVID will go up, and that's just because that's flu season and everybody going back to school and the natural wave, and we fully expect that to happen. And then the narrative is
sarcastic.
God, I
I'm
know,
ready
but
for it to go away because that's adding to it.
So ready for the end of it all. And Minnesota, some days I'm really embarrassed to be from Minnesota. I really struggle. Today, if I was from Hawaii, I would be very embarrassed that. Anyway, but Minnesota, we just extended our mail-in ballots to November 10th. So y'all going to wait for Minnesota mail-in ballots till November 10th. What?
Stupid.
Yep.
Anyway, that's a whole other radio show. How will it end, Sarah? Who wins the election? Trump wins. Guess what? Trump wins. People get angry about it.
Anyways, I think we're cutting time. Anybody got anything else?
Crazy. What else do you want to know?
Before we cut it, what was your code for the website? Was it B0015?
Boo 15. B-O-O is in the letter. Boo.
Oh, B-O-O.
15.
Okay. I got to make sure I got that right.
Boo is in the ghost. Boo.
Okay,
Like,
everybody, you head
Jesus
over to
scares.
paranormalsarah.com.
Where can they find you on your other social medias?
Oh, anything Paranormal Sarah. I'm there on Instagram. I like to be very cryptic and neurolinguistic in my posts, but I'm a photographer, so you'll see visual stuff. I'm on Facebook. I'm quite political on Facebook because I do the Situation Room on Odyssey Radio, and I'm working on my own morning radio show with them as a female host. It's kind of political in nature. So that it gets hot on Facebook. There's a lot of craziness on Facebook.
There's nothing
Yeah.
like hot in the morning.
But paranormalsarah.com, you'll find all of it. And it's pretty laid back there. So, yeah.
All right, everybody,
Check
head
it
over to
out.
paranormalsarah.com. Enter B0015 and
No, BOO, not 00.
15%.
Did I put it down
Dude.
wrong? I did put it down wrong. My bad. BOO.
BOO
Listen.
15.
BOO15, paranormalsarah.com. Get 15% off reading through Booze and Booze page till the end of October.
Do it.
Is that
Yep.
like 9?
I'm
What am I
going
listening
to.
Do it.
I'm hearing music
going
in the
to.
background.
I'm listening to Pepper right now.
Oh, well. It's
All
Wednesday.
right.
It's Wu-Tang Wednesday. It ought to be Wu-Tang. But I'm going to jump off here and go tuck my children in and
That's
go
what
look
I'm
up
gonna
at the
do.
sky
I got to pee.
and respond to comments. And I just want to thank everybody for listening. And thank you guys so much for having me on the show.
Thanks for
Thank you
being
so
here.
much. Thank you so much. You've really put
For
a lot
sure.
of insight to myself and some things that I want to start looking into. I greatly appreciate it.
Yes. Get a hold of me. Read a book.
Oh, I was going to say, Sarah also is the author of 2 books.
Can you send me a link to where I can find those?
Amazon or Barnes and Noble. They were, they're anywhere. Llewellyn.
If they come autographed, I will send them. If they come autographed, I will PayPal you so you get 100% profit.
Ooh, I do. You should do that on my website. I've got one on my website, and I will autograph it and send it to you. Especially the quantum parapsychology one, Mike. I think you would like this one because it just talks about, all the like string theory and double slit experiment and like why, and who, and
When I talk to authors, I like to buy personally as opposed to Amazon and all that. Like all that money goes towards you.
Well, because
which
you
I
know.
prefer. Yep,
Right.
I would prefer to
Right.
give
I
you
think
100%.
Well, I appreciate that because I think I owe my publisher
Absolutely.
like $200, and if you buy it from me, then I get the money, and if it goes to Amazon, I never see it. So, but I appreciate it. It makes me look good on Amazon, but I appreciate what you know. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. I'm a musician of 20 years and I still don't see shit. So
Hey, Mike, if you're a musician, I bring your energy near me as long as it's good. I don't want bad music.
It
No
is
offense.
good.
I've never heard your music.
I
Okay, good.
listen to metal.
Oh, okay. My husband's a composer, so he does like movie scores and things like that.
But you like Goldfinger, so we connect on
I like
that
Goldfinger,
early 2000 punk, like Newfound Glory, Good Charlotte.
I was
Goldfinger.
at a Warped Tour regular, like 311, Alien Ant Farm, Good Charlotte,
311 was
Goldfinger,
my shit.
99 Red Balloons.
Oh, that was actually Michael Jackson. Never mind.
That was
Michael
Alien Ant
Jackson
Farm.
was not on Warped Tour.
Their Alien Ant Farm cover of.
That was their one hit.
Smooth Criminal.
Yeah, it was good. So anyway, guys,
Oh, my
I hope to hear from you guys at any time. Call me up if you have any people file on you and say they can't or they get sick and you need a crazy guest. I'm here. I work from home doing things in the northern Minnesota forest, so you can contact me anytime. But I'll be watching and I'll be joining you next week.
Well, I want you to come on. We need to have this whole episode about serial killer talk and about murder interrogations and with zodiac signs and all that
I'm
good
down.
jazz. Yeah.
Yeah.
We talk about
Let's
Lizzie
make that a
Borden.
special.
We could do that,
Ted
and we
Bundy.
will go through your zodiac sign and what what I like to do is phrenology. I like to look at your face and tell you what crime you would likely commit. That's my favorite
Oh,
game to play.
stabbing someone.
Mine would be murder. I already know it'd be murder.
I don't know. I kind of already think I know what you would do, Mike, but I
You
won't
can
tell
just
you.
say it.
I'd probably be the murder one because I'm like quiet. And I'm just kidding. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Before we leave, I want to know what my potential crime committed would be.
I know what mine.
Well,
I will
somebody
pee
you
my
know.
pants. To hear
It would be
this.
somebody you know. It would be based off of jealousy or revenge. It would be emotional, and you would probably use a knife.
My wife better never cheat on me. All right, guys.
Yeah. You cut people up and be like, I don't know what happened. He was there. Yeah. But you'd do it and you'd do it and they'd be like, was he accomplice? Was it his idea? And I'd be like, yeah, no, he did it. Maybe he'd feel really bad that he did it, but he did it. And at the time he was happy he was doing it. So it'll be a long discussion. Yeah, that'll be a fun show. Let's do it. It's a day.
I guess I'm gonna hold my wife every night and make sure it never comes to that. All right, guys.
1 second, Mike. I do want to say, because we forgot last week, next week is Duo Daemonology. James Anito, Carl L. Johnson, two of my good, close personal friends. Are going to talk about demons and shit and why you should and shouldn't believe in them. It is going to be a hell of a discussion. Please tune in, share, as always.
Join
I'll
us.
be tuning in. I'll be giving them my questions.
That's
So
gonna
I'll
be
be
fun,
there.
guys. Again,
Yeah.
Sarah, we thank you.
Thank you.
SarahParanormal.com.
Bye.
Boo 15
Paranormal
for
Sarah.
discount. Cheers,
You got it.
everybody.
Oh yeah, cheers. That's right.
Yes.
Cheers.
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 Until next week.
Until
Have a good
next
night, everybody.
time.
Good
Peace
night.
out.